Big college basketball game last night. It happened at Fiserv Forum up in Milwaukee. Final score, Marquette 76, Purdue 58. And I don't bring this up because I know everybody listening cares about Big East programs and Big Ten programs, but the star of the game, he's a Memphis native, Kam Jones. ECS graduate. He messed around and got a triple-double last night.
I guess everybody's getting triple-doubles last night, huh?
17 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists in 36 minutes. He is looking like a All-American candidate, Big East Player of the Year candidate. And like I've said before, I'm not predicting this exactly, but it's not crazy to think the Big East Player of the Year and the SEC Player of the Year could both be Memphis natives in this season.
That's pretty cool.
Kam Jones at Marquette, Matthew Morrell down at Ole Miss. After the game, Kam was great. As you know, we talked about it earlier in the week. His high school coach was Terry Tippett at ECS.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Terry, of course, passed over the weekend at the age of 79. And Kam took a moment to, mention his high school coach, said that he wanted to dedicate last night's performance to Coach Tippett and really this entire season to Coach Tippett. So I thought that was sweet. And that was the first triple-double a Marquette player has turned in since Dwayne Wade got one against Kentucky in the 2003 Final Four down in New Orleans. I know in the NBA, triple-doubles are fairly common. We had one here last night. But in college basketball, they're not that normal. Evidence being that it had been more than 2 decades since a Marquette player had one, and Marquette's had incredible players come through there over the past 20-plus years. So what Kam Jones did last night was special, really launched him more so onto the national radar. And I thought it was big because, yeah, sure, you had, big Celtics-Cavs game, but you weren't opposite the NFL. You weren't opposite big-time college football. If you were watching basketball last night, you were probably watching an NBA game or Marquette-Purdue. And for Kam to have that kind of performance on that stage, big stuff from him. Always nice to see people from here do well.
Yeah.
I think preferably we'd love for him to do well in Tigers jerseys inside FedEx Forum. But the truth is, and I talked to Norton Hurd about this before, Memphis didn't really prioritize Kam Jones. Yeah, I don't want to say they didn't recruit him or wouldn't have taken him, but they didn't prioritize him, in any sort of meaningful way. That's among the reasons he ended up in Milwaukee. I don't want to say it's the reason he ended up in Milwaukee because there's a scenario where he might have just always wanted to get out of here, go play in the Big East, play for Shaka Smart, whatever. But it is true that Memphis did not prioritize him, and now he's somebody, and this is something I make this point often and then disregard it sometimes, like this year when I suggested Cooper Flagg might be the National Player of the Year as a freshman at Duke, and he still might be. It's very early. But often it's not that type of player. More often it is somebody who has already been a good college player, even a very good college player. They're a totally legitimate NBA prospect, enter the draft, go through it, but then decide for whatever reason to return to school. Those are the type of people that typically impact the sport. Individual awards, team accomplishments. Kam Jones is an example of that, and he had his most meaningful game of the season last night on a big stage against Purdue. Right now, he's averaging 22.6 points per game and shooting 48% from three on 5 attempts per contest. So his senior year is off to a great start. ECS graduate, doing big things in the Big East.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.